On a dusty road, true loving, I got a truckload. And when you get it, you got something. So don't worry, 'cause I'm coming. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man. Got what I got the hard way. And I'll make there each and every day. So honey, don't you wait. 'Cause you ain't seen nothing yet. I'm a soul man.
All right, welcome everybody. Derek Freund. See how my sound engineer did there. If you are here for basics of social media, you are in the right place. John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd, we will give you one moment here. If everybody's tapping their toes and ready for basics of social media. All right. Derek Freund reporting to you from high atop my second floor mastermind hideout. You're going to hear about rhythms and rhymes and soundtracks of our lives. And we're going to get started right on time. This is about me in terms of my contact information, my email. My business is Rogue Marketing Systems. I am a constant contact ALE, which makes me a authorized local expert and also master certified person, which is kind of funny when any of my friends or family, and I know some of you on the webinar today will laugh at this because I'm a technical Neanderthal, although I have been speaking for and representing Constant Contact since 2010, which is pretty much of a dinosaur. But if I can learn it, you can learn it too. And social media is a very important component here. So, let me back up here. I want to point out one thing here. Part of my job is as a coach. And as a coach, we're always measuring. In business, we're always measuring. If you don't measure it, you can't determine your forward progress. So ask yourself, did you get better today? Did you learn something? Did you do that? Everybody that's on this live today will get a copy of this presentation sent to you. So take some notes, know what you're going to implement. But if there's something in there that I move through fast, or perhaps I even move too slow, realize you will get a copy of this presentation and you will follow up. You will also have an opportunity to speak with me or work with somebody on my staff. The environment I work at is high atop. We call it a secret second floor mastermind hideout. That's my environment right now when I'm not out speaking or writing. I am right here working on businesses just like yours, nonprofits. So surround yourself with those on the same mission. We're not going to open this up for a lot of Q&A today. We've got a lot of information, but realize you do have people that can work for you and with you, and you are not alone in this journey to market yourself. Another webinar that we have coming up in a few days, and you can find that on our website, roguemarketingsystems.com, is The Reckoning. Now, this is about all marketing. This is for really kind of people who are entrepreneurial experience, whether you're running your own business. Even it can be appropriate for nonprofits. It does take some entrepreneurial thinking and motivation, but that's something that's available. It's a $100 value. It's for free. Don't want to spend a lot of time on that. Today, you will have the opportunity to forever change the way you think about profit and marketing your business or nonprofit. So think bigger and broader of what we do here. I do believe it's all about teamwork. I come from an athletic background. This is a picture from a CrossFit competition here. I had the advantage here. I'm about twice the age of these people here, so I know how to work harder, and that's the joke. They say I've got old man strength, so whatever it is, I'm trying to stay ahead of them. Sometimes people will ask, why should I listen to you about new and different strategies to increase my sales, donation, and business? So let me give you a little bit of credentials and background. I am a professional speaker. I've been at this game for about 20 years. Again, run my own business. This is not just theory. Matter of fact, it's not theory at all. It's real world reality, not ivory towers. It must work in my business. More importantly, it must work for my clients, or I would get chewed up and spitting out really, really fast because I cannot sing or dance. And no surprise, guys, my modeling career never took off. Not that I ever tried, but it's a good punchline. So cue up the laughter there. This information has been published in Inc. magazine, Business, Cranes, even Harvard Business Review. Again, these are peer reviewed and studied. I do want to share with you some of my personal experience. This picture is on the left is when I first got started in sales marketing, long, long time ago. Graduated from high school in 1985. There was color pictures back then, but that was a black and white newsletter that mom saved or somebody in there. So that was maybe my first suit or something. 10 years after that, I started my consulting career in the basement of my first home. Those kids are pretty much grown up now, but that's a sweet picture. Mentors and motivators are all very, very important. In a lot of areas, we can be self-educated, but getting inspired from people is so, so very important, especially with the changes that are going on. And I really respect you for being on this webinar today. Again, I speak to big audiences, large audiences, but I get excited about this because my life has been changed on a few occasions, maybe 5 or 6, where I went to the right webinar, heard the right sermon, speech, presentation, and it forever changed my life. So that's my goal, is to share that. At least offer good information. A few of you hopefully will have that experience as I've had. I've also been to workshops or seminars where you get a stinker, just somebody that doesn't have the motivation or dedication and never want to be that person, want to be the person to help you out. I've had the opportunity to co-author a couple books. Dan Kennedy is a New York Times bestseller. I've had the privilege of sharing the stage with him and co-authoring a couple books. The Ultimate Success Secret is available as a free download on our website. So if you're interested in that, that's a motivational book, not a social media book per se. Ron Cates is really a grandfather in email marketing and a social media pioneer. He's the one who recruited me into this business back in 2009, 2010, and we had worked together. And I thought, man, I was really intimidated by all the social media and email. And I said, because Ron, I'm not a technical person. I'm a creative person, a marketer, a salesperson, a one-on-one, a group person. And he looked at me and says, Derek, you can do this. So it forever changed my way of thinking and embracing the digital world. Not because I like technology or because I think that's cool per se, but we just want to be people of our time, just like the people we admire from the past, how they embrace technology, whether it was a carrier pigeon or signing the Declaration of Independence or newspaper. You get the idea. Everybody has had forms of media, whether it was chiseling something on uh, the Ten Commandments, or the hand of God, or somebody in a cave, or scrolls or parchment. And now we just have different forms of media that are important. Do have a promise for you. During the presentation, you will have the opportunity, if you take action today or tomorrow, schedule a call with us that we will go to work working on your business. We'll do there's no contracts, there's no sales pitch or anything, but we want to get to know the people we're working on. So put your marketing hat on. I operate here as three things that we do here is we teach people how to be fully self-sufficient marketers. My business offers low-cost, semi-customized templates that you can reuse over and over again. And at the top of the heap, my business, I'm an outsourced chief marketing officer where I work either with the CEO or executive director, sales manager type person, and coordinate writing and doing the whole concept. That's not a position every business wants or needs to have me in, but right now let's really focus on what is going to grow your business and being a marketer. Where are we today? Think of where you're at right now in terms of social media and marketing. Thank you. If you're starting from basics, that's okay. We live in a world that's changing. Everybody starts at ground zero. That's fine. You can be certain that there's going to be super phenomenally successful people in social media 1 month from now. I mean, like world changing, and that may not be part of your modus operandi. It's not mine in social media, but anything can change, and the steps and the things you learn today will become very important pivot points. So there's things that can be very confusing and intimidating. Don't let them be. Rest assured, there's people who are not nearly as smart as you are, not nearly as creative as you are, who are doing very well in social media. So inch by inch, your success will be a cinch. If you feel you need help, you are not alone. It's very, very confusing. I played the Blues Brothers, but I was almost going to play the old Motown song, the other Ball of Confusion, which would also be appropriate for this. Constant Contact did a survey. 54% of small businesses felt they need help, and that's okay. Nobody is born knowing how to do this, and while it is helpful to get some young people to assist with it with you in your business and doing the postings, typically do not rely on them to take care of everything, because they don't understand the depth of your business, if you have any experience in your business or nonprofit, in gaining rapport. So look for them for some technical help, but do not disregard your wisdom and your knowledge that you've had or acquired and totally abdicate that. So 54%, 57% of nonprofits said they feel they need help in social media. And you may have some concerns. You can say, I'll never have 1 million fans, because chances are you've been on social media pages here. Um, I don't know what to say on social media. We will get you started here. And I promise, once you take a few baby steps here and you spark an idea and you actually post something and you get a response, even one or two, even if it's somebody you know, or you call them up or you ask them to do it, you get excited and you start seeing the steam rolling, the avalanche effect of how one idea starts percolating on another, and it will grow. So if you don't know what to say for social media, don't worry, you'll learn. And then you can think, I'll never have a dedicated staff to do this. Well, never say never. You can start small. It may be something that you do. You can also outsource this, but it's important that you do start on your own and you do have a basic understanding for how this is done. You may think, I don't have time. And that, folks, I really, really understand and respect. And there is a flaw. Okay, now this presentation has the constant contact information here and all the things that you should do and the volume. However, this is not written in stone. You can do more or you can do less. You do not have to use all forms of social media here. And in terms of staying current, do not let this become something that takes you more than maybe 30, 40 minutes a day. And then we're going to show you how to be able to chunk down, curate information, schedule postings, because sometimes business owners, they get involved in 3 or 4 hours a day, and your time is worth a lot of money. It's not just what you're getting paid, but what your responsibilities are. And don't let this get away from you, the social media time vampire. So within a 5-year time span, here's what we've seen. 10% of small businesses were using. So in the real recent history, it was a very, very small part of it. Now a whopping 87% of small businesses and nonprofits are using social media. It's where people are at. I don't have the most recent study here, but the average 44-year-old woman spends something like 88 minutes a day, and it may be more or less for men, and you skew younger, you skew older. It's not just a young person's game, and this is where there's a lot of dollars and cents and time being invested. You can liken back to our fathers or our grandfathers' day in let's say the 1950s, when soap operas were on, and somebody may have said, well, that's immoral and that's inappropriate and we don't want to do this. But the fact were, there was millions and billions of dollars of consumers' eyes on products at the time. And this is where people are at. And is there some bad stuff going on? Sure. Is there some stuff you don't agree with on? Absolutely. I'm with you there. But this is where eyes are at. And if you have something important to say, share, do about your business, this is where people are at. So meet them where they're doing it. If sending Morse code or carrier pigeons or a message in a bottle may not be the most effective way to do that. Um, you have all you need to get started here. By the way, also in the pros and cons, when I meet with business owners and we look at these things, here's the incredible thing about social media is you can say it's free, and it is. Although there's some fantastic opportunities to use pay-per-view and pay-per-click and remarketing. That's more advanced than we want to get on right now. But while it's free, while it's instantaneous, it is time and talent sensitive. Uh, so be sure to balance that off in terms of your resources, just like you would write a check for buying media or websites or consulting information. Be aware of what this is. But the good news is you can get started right away. If you're in business for any length of time or been involved, you're going to have happy and loyal customers. You want to be able to create a great customer or donor experience. People like social recognition, gratification, feeling that they're part of something. This is a great opportunity to do that. Interesting things to say. So let's take a look at our agenda and how we want to look at this from a bird's eye view here. Why use social media? The top 5 social networks that you can use. You do not need to use all of them. There are more than 5 out there. So, and they will create new ones all along. So just think of TV channels of the past, the major networks, and then the new changing networks, and then cable and YouTube, and this whole experience that's going out here. If you're going to be in business for more than a couple of years here, do not worry. There's constantly new things, and there's people working for you and with you to help you do this. What do you say? So we're going to spark your creative ideas in terms of what to say and get past the technical thing, because the technical things are relatively simple. But getting started and influencers for decisions and really the purpose to be able to use this here, and staying ahead of the social media marketing curve. Here's what we have. 84% of social users use social media to share and support the causes. If you've been online at all, you see this. Some people are very, very strong. They will post their own opinions. Others will just post information that they share. This can range from political, this can range from purchasing decisions, reviews. People do feel they want to have a voice and say and communicate this. 74% of shoppers use social media to guide purchases. This is referral marketing. This is testimonials. If all of the things being equal, if you see somebody with, and by the way, somebody can have 500, and they've done studies on this, 500 reviews, and another business can have 5. That doesn't mean everybody's going to go with 500 reviews. 5 good ones can, in many cases, be more impactful because they go, oh, that's me. I don't want a jumbo Disney World experience going out to a restaurant. I want a local experience of feel. So you do not, and we'll get into more of that later, you do not have to compete with the big guys here, but shoppers do use social media to guide their purchase. And 43% of purchased products are shared or favorited by friends. So this is important, social recognition. And how do we have engagement and word of mouth? In the old days, we called this word of mouth. We called this building a reputation. We can do that. Much of that is now done online, or we can show you how to take what you've developed, good reputation, testimonials, business experience, and transfer that from filing cabinets or testimonials or good experience and brand recognition that you can now trade over into a digital social media environment. And this hasn't changed. Years ago, when we used to do print ad, people say, "Oh, I've got wonderful testimonials, and they're wonderful." And I go, "Yeah, your client wrote you a testimonial, or they said something good about you. They referred one client, and now it's in your filing cabinet, and it's not shared with the world." So we would take those and put them in print media. Now it's transferring them into a digital environment. And let's talk about providing that experience for people, the wow experience for people. And This is interesting. Some people say, well, my nonprofit or my business doesn't really set itself up for a wow experience. And in that regard, that's sometimes why I like embracing even boring businesses. I have a client, for example, Vanguard Motor Sales, and they sell classic cars to guys who are probably 10, 15 years older than I am, who grew up in the 60s. That's an exciting business. There's lots of pretty girls and cool songs, and there's a certain sex appeal, and it's things that people are passionate about doing. But if you even take a, a mundane business, I've got another client who sells plumbing supplies to Ultraflow to beer distributors. But to make that exciting, it's American made. You don't need to jerry rig. We communicate with the end user mechanics, how they have a pride in ownership, how the job is done right. It's got a lifetime guarantee, a money back satisfaction guarantee, a try it before you buy it. Even things that are boring or mundane, when you get your brain juices going, they can be made exciting. So stay in touch, engage with people, testimonials. Social proof is important. You don't have to always put yourself out there. You can put your clients out there. You can say, may I share this? Will you post this? Uh, be part of the environment here and engage in social visibility so you get new prospects and people can see what other people are doing. By the way, people like having their information shared. They want their opinion shared. You can even post a problem. You can say, Mary called up and had a complaint that XYZ was wrong. Well, thank you, Mary, for sharing with that. Here's what we did to correct that. Okay, get Mary's permission or do a blind share. I know some of you in the nonprofit business, there's privacy issues, or in the medical care business, there's HIPAA issues. So you can do blind testimonials or blind case examples of people who have had this experience. Sometimes, anyway, it's a good way to, I don't want to say you want to make up or lie, but you can say, if this situation happened, this is how we corrected, or before we did this, there's a problem. So you can always engage that. The top social networks that people are working on is you have Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram. I also like to put YouTube in with this. It's not purely a social media, but it has an incredible media value to it. Not to exaggerate, but you imagine all TV, all video, all streaming. YouTube has that. So engaging that in your social media links should not be ignored whatsoever. So let's start with Facebook and what exactly that is. It is the largest social, Derek, I'll say that. It's like my literary exercise here, my verbal exercise. So the largest social media sharing site. Social media, everybody, kids practice along with me. There's over 1.4 billion users. There's two components. There's your personal Facebook page and there's your business. It's the largest social network for personal and business. You can use text, you can use photos, video engagement, and communications back and forth. We don't get into a lot of technicalities here, but with any social environment, I think without exception, and here's like halfway to a master's degree in engineering, if you can, not an example here, but if you find a piece of code or a link on a website and you hover over that and you cut and paste and you post that, or key that in. Cutting and pasting is easier and there's really no room for error. But anywhere you can do that, you can put those links. So in your social media, you can key in text, you can post pictures, which is worth learning how to do. You can link to videos. So that one little post becomes a portal to everything that's digital. So keep that in mind. And when we talk about curating data and doing that and engaging and promoting people to share the information. How often to do this? 1 or 2 times a day. That sounds like a lot, but we're going to, and you don't have to do it that much, but it is I don't want to say optimum, but it is a goal to get to. And if you key this in and we coach you right, this will help you develop some regular, better business practices along the way, saying, what am I going to share? What did we do right today? What did we do wrong? What's something that we can improve? And if you use this as a barometer to be able to judge your progress and share this with people, it's a good tool to jump ahead and continue your business practices. reach larger audiences with a larger advertising platform. And that's what this is. They call it social media. Well, what is radio? What is television? What is newspaper? What is a sales letter? What is a flyer? What is every door direct? Name it, name it. They are all media. Social media is a form of media. It's an important one. It's growing, but it is not the only one. Consider this as another platform that you use. Instagram is a social networking for business, almost always business to business. Although you can find where if you're looking up a doctor or a specialist to look for, in the old days, we wanted to see somebody's resume or their CV, which is a lot of doctors and professors, a Latin curriculum verside, or I can't remember how to pronounce it, but CV or documentation. Consumers will go to doctors, lawyers, professionals, people like me to review their LinkedIn page, perhaps before hiring that person. So consider how that may be used even in a business to consumer environment. Content about your business and expertise, curated content. We're going to see that word a couple times. Think of a museum curator, somebody who's bringing data together. Much of your information can be shared or linked from sources that are supportive or scientific data that are supportive of you. Some of you belong to larger organizations, your chapters, you are franchisees, you have a licensed agreement where you already have content that the bigger body of information is writing and putting together that you can share. So the United States Tennis Association or a religious group already has a lot of information. And when you take that, curate it, and then share it on a local level, it can make your job much easier and the message consistent. Put some of your own personal information, your rapport, share that, works very, very effectively. LinkedIn at least twice a week is optimum to keep your information fresh as people find you interesting. It's also about numbers. People will run hot and cold. They'll experience what you're doing, and then they may not come back for a few months. But when they see that the information is fresh or when there's something that's important, they know where they can go. You establish yourself as an expert in your business, your industry, very, very important. And again, these are practices you should be maintaining anyway as motivated people who attend expert webinars like this. So congratulations. Twitter's on the move. This is lightning fast. It's a social network that is in real time. There's blog posts that you can link to. There's things that you can share. There's social commentary that you can write on here. And this is where things are even hours later, they can become old. So understand that this is, it's just a fast-paced environment here. I don't really profess to know a lot about it because most of the businesses and it's almost 170 of them, all variety of nonprofits and businesses aren't working on this fast-paced. This is important when there's fundraisers or political events that people start following, and they'll follow one person and then they'll drop off and they'll cool off from doing that. But this is a great example here of a nonprofit, Strong Women, Strong Girls in Pittsburgh and Boston, and how they're posting on Twitter on a regular basis. And it's just content and information. And when you do have multiple people involved, the job can become a lot easier. There's links, there's news, there's blogs, photos, videos that are used 5 times a day. This is a lot. There's automated systems we're going to talk about, HubSpot, where you can schedule these in advance. You can go about conducting your day, and your Twitter feed will stay updated without doing 5 at one time, but it can be 5 spread out every 90 minutes throughout the day. Some of the benefits is it's a fastest way to reach your audience and customer service. Very important to be able to do that. This can be like when there's big events in towns and uh, experiences with hotel or events or feedback that people are talking about. Pinterest is the 4th largest social network. Here's an example of Liberty Jane Clothing. It's a social network and it's a virtual bulletin board. So it's used by a lot of hobby people, things that are visual in nature, food, dress, clothing. I have a 20, soon to be 23-year-old daughter who's engaged to be married. and she's in preparation for the wedding. She's using a lot of Pinterest to be able to use that as her bulletin board to uh, pin travel location. The wedding's still over a year away, so she has a lot of time. So planning and thinking ahead, Pinterest is valuable to her in what she's doing here. So they pin images of product, digital content of interest. So it's a curating environment where people are collecting this information, and at least 5 times a day. So it is very, very active. That's why we say you do not need to use all of these. Just start small and gradual. This is the basics and how you would use this as a goal to achieve. Pins can be found in search engine optimization. Infographics are real helpful tools, hacks, infographics, visuals. If you don't know how to make those, we have some examples on our website. You can ask me. Tools where you can create 5 steps, 3-step systems using visual images, and they do become valuable for search engine optimization to draw people to your site. Take a look at this. Instagram is instant. What is it? It's a mobile app, photo and video sharing, photos and videos, your biz, products, and people, at least once a day. That will change over time too, by the way, guys. And people can, followers get your business and get to know your businesses through images, success stories, before and after, visual images. Uh, if you're a little confused now, don't worry. We're going to show you how to wrap this all up, how you can repurpose content. But now let's take a look at what to say. All right, go for it in social, your posts that work for you. This is not a presentation that has a lot of note taking, but here's a good formula for you to be able to consider when you go to write your post or you delegate this. 50% of what you're sharing is entertaining post. Entertaining or practical in nature. Some people may say, well, Derek, I run a funeral home. What's entertaining about that? Well, there is useful information. There are people who are satisfied where, not tragic death, but people who have had long and noble lives and everything, where there's information to share. There's alternatives between burial and cremation and things. So there's entertaining value that can be had even in otherwise somber type businesses. So or people say, well, I sell life insurance. How is that entertaining? Well, there's all the value of saving, of caring, and of being concerned for people, the things that will be paid off should somebody die prematurely or paid off after a long and fruitful and productive life. So there are entertaining things in businesses that often people do not think of as entertaining. Then 30%, that's helpful information. What's your expertise in your business? What do you bring? And if you've been in any business for more than 2 or 3 months, you know more than 90-95% of the population. And to keep those ideas fresh will keep you on your toes and make you a better at your profession. Now, there's times where certainly the entertaining and the useful information do get spread over, but think of this as a formula. My daughter was reminding me how to make rice the other day, and it's Dad, and I know this, but it's 2 cups of water, 1 cup of rice, whatever that ratio, it's 2 to 1, and a pinch of salt, and you do the heat, and now I remember how to make rice. So you have 50% entertaining, 30% valuable information, and 20% promoting your business, or sometimes we call it pitching, sales pitch, offers, sales. And that's okay because we do know that 73% of the people who look you up on social media do want to see that information. They just don't want to see it all the time. About 20% of the time seems to be the fair ratio. 50% share interest in entertaining post. This is important here because people can take and share your information. And this in your constant contact is a very important tool. We don't get into that much in this presentation here, but whenever my company or whenever you set up your own template, using the share tool is huge and important. First off, people can share your social media site. People people know, they see the share. But when you do your emails, the share, even for businesses who are not on social media, just the fact that somebody can share the information increases the the volume of eyes that see that by 58%. And I think that's conservative. I don't, guys, I don't have a slide to show you this, but if you have a list, pick a number, 100, I'll just say 100. If, let's say 1,000, the numbers work better, but 1,000, and just 3 people share that, and each individual only has 200 subscribers, or it's only seen by 200 friends or subscribers, that means your list of 1,000 now is seen by 600 additional eyes. And not so arguably, those eyes are seeing it fresh. It's now referred by a friend or colleague, somebody trusted on Facebook, and it's shared information, so it's a referred lead. So think that the sharing of the interest is important, both for what it can do for you and what you can do sharing information in your post, because you go, I don't have anything to share, right? Well, share somebody else's information or write a comment. Guys, I think this is valuable, or I agree with points 1, 2, 3, and 4, but not 5 and 6. You share that content and you're able to continue growing your business. Here's another another example here for the honeypot orchard. So just another picture that will make your day. That's cool for followers of the honeypot orchard. Here's another example here. That's what does it say here? This is an updated one. So first female astronaut in the space shuttle here, mission like a girl. 30% information, that's information. Here's one that's used by honeypot orchards here to show, oh yeah, that nectarines are actually a type of peach. So they have information to share about the nutritional value of their products, their service. Is it organic? The advantages, the disadvantages, et cetera here. Which when you think about it, the more knowledge you are about a product or service, or if you're a homemaker, or you're into nutrition or shopping, that's valuable information to share with your family, employees, colleagues. Here's what to say. This is an Instagram, an image, just a comment. Look at this at the download that you have here. And 20% is about promoting your business. This is selling. This is what people like me are employed for, that we get into business for. So if you're more of an administrator or you've been an inline consumer, you're going to understand, and the other 80% will probably come more natural to you. But at the end of the day, this is about promoting your business, your nonprofit, school. We've got all sorts of people on the as viewers right now. But the basics are still the same. So how can you promote these? This is an example here of the Baltimore Humane Society regular post pictures of pets that are available for adoption. So Tabby, or whatever the name of the pet is here, is available here. This gets compassion, this gets understanding, it puts a name, it puts a face to it, but it is promoting and it is selling, so to speak. Liberty Jane Clothing is showing an example here of the doll outfit. There's a sale, there's a link. Here's another image here used in Instagram. And take a look at that here. See also here the tag that's posted there, the link here. They've actually have 4 different links here. So one simple post can have access to all these other variety of sources. This is information you have already had. You've already done the work. This is now just a chance to bring them all together in one post. So when we say repurpose and reuse, in many instances, this is things you already have. You've already done the hard work. Just bring it together. And if you haven't, let this be motivation to follow the best practices in what you're doing here. So this Friday, Pure Energy, Lupes, I think that's pronounced. There's information, times of when the live entertainment's coming on. So people go, oh, I dig this. This is important here. It's a subtle pitch, but it's information that's live there. And the likes are important too. It does not have to be a lot. 4 people like this, 1 people share. When you're getting started, this is gold, okay? And this will sell and promote your information. When you see the share to, now you know that people are sharing this, that they're conveying this to other people here. Very, very exciting. And this is where in other presentations you'll see where we start. I talk a lot with my hands here, but where you start with 2 and then 2 became 4, 4 becomes 8, and so on. If I was going to play it instead of the Soul Man video, but the sound wasn't come. There was a Fabergé commercial from the 80s, and Heather Locklear, actress, TV movie actress, had and they told 2 friends, and they told 2 friends, and they told 2 friends, and they had, and that was really just a great example of referral marketing, and it's happening in this day and age here. So you get the share and that method and modality of being able to do that. So one of the friends liked the post and commented, "Let's go." You also had shares. You'll begin to recognize that real quick here. The dates that are posted. So there's a like. There's a person, Susan Jones, said, "Let's go." Reach your customers where they are. This is where they're at. You have Facebook communication. You measure this in terms of likes, shares, forwards, and word of mouth. Marketing does need to be measurable, so measure and see where you get the results. Don't be discouraged if you post something and you don't get a lot of shares. That's not necessarily bad. There's some things that are more viral or shareable by nature. Uh, those get the spreads. They may not sell or promote your product as well as the ones that don't share as well, but it's a delicate balance of the show and the go. But after a while, you'll get a rapport with your audience, and you'll see what they like, what they're doing, how to write the subject lines, or how to write the excuse me, I say subject line. That's maybe a Freudian slip with the email marketing. But subject lines and headlines are kind of synonymous. Let's go, watch this, sale today. Did you see a picture of Tabby? Consider for adoption. These keyword hooks and headlines that get people sharing and thinking and or taking personal action on their business involved. So this now becomes a controlled loop here. 338 is the average number of friends per adult on Facebook, and that's according to Pew Research. So 338 is a very, very important number. And it's interesting, the greatest salesman in the world, Joe Girard, decades ago did a study, and some things have changed a little bit, but he found at that time the average wedding had 250 invites. The average funeral had 250 invites. So many years later, the average adult has 338 friends on Facebook. It's kind of interesting where it's easier to have more friends now because of the expense and the time, but it hasn't changed radically in 4 or 5 decades since he first experienced that. So the communication is very, very important. And small can be big. 5 likes, 5 comments, 5 shares can make all the difference. Again, based on your business, what's somebody's expectation? What is their experience looking like? The business with 500 likes is not necessarily better than the one that has 5. People understand what's the right size business, what's the right size experience for them to have. Somebody looking for an accountant or an attorney and see somebody's with 500 likes, they're going to go, whoa, that doesn't match my expense, my experience of what I'm trying to do here. So getting started, what's the first step? You may already have a Facebook page, it may have started. So create your Facebook page. For those of you who are already on Facebook, complete the best practices tips that they have. Update your information. If your picture hasn't been updated in a while, or you put an old picture, by the way, we get better looking as we get older. If you attend my events, that's the case anyway. Your ears, mine, and God's. So keep those updated here. Facebook is the most popular network here. You want to be able to have your Facebook page, your current contents, your information, your profile up to date. Then you want to have a page versus a profile. Facebook pages.com, pages create, fill out that information, add your logo, get familiar. If you're already on Constant Contact, and I expect that most everybody's on this webinar already is, the experience of taking images from your desktop and importing them into your constant contact account is pretty much the same in Facebook and all the social media. So your learning curve is not like learning a whole new thing again. It's an experience there. On our website, it's not the only place, but we have a free resources tab and tools like PicMonkey or Canva. When it says, we say it later here, but if it's 318 pixels by 184 or whatever the measurement is to fit right in there, you can actually create a PicMonkey image. And you can hire somebody to do this, or we do that, or you can do it yourself with what I'm telling you to get started. You can create the right size for that image, that banner that's above. We've all seen these done right. We've also seen them done wrong, where somebody's head is cut off here and there's an image, and what happened? I'm sure it looked good on their computer when they uploaded it, but not when they moved on and shared that. Excuse me. Once you have that posted, I'm a big believer in health, by the way, and fresh water. Keep drinking fresh water out of a glass bottle, ideally. And little tip: use you get a water app on your phone if you want to drink 64 ounces of water, or half a gallon a day is good for most people. If you're closer to 200 pounds like I am, it may be 94 ounces, but you can keep up to date with that. And every time I drink 16 ounces, I put that in my app. So that's a bonus there. Health. Tell people that you're there. You want to include this in your email marketing. Again, every template, take a look at use a mobile-friendly template. Make sure every template that you have has the share button and has a link to your Facebook page, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, or just one of those. Or if you're not doing them right, don't include them. But you can always include the share button. So let people know that you're there. There's sometimes people who kind of blasé on over the information, and they go, oh, what are they doing in Instagram? Or what are they doing in Facebook? Because that's the media they're most familiar with. Post this on your website and blog. I've had some people say, well, why would I want to put the Facebook on my web page when I already got them on my web page? Well, Facebook is maybe more up to date than what's on your web page. You got to keep your web page up to date, but probably not on a daily basis. So they go to your web page, you have something that's available. You also, if you're not your own webmaster, you can update the information on the Facebook page. I know some businesses that do not have a real legitimate website of their own. They rely on Facebook entirely for doing that. I don't recommend that. There's search engine things, there's pay-per-click ad issues that even your competitor can use that you can do it. I would want to own for a couple $100 you can get your own website. But the reality is, because of the ease of use, there's plenty of business owners, nonprofits that only use their Facebook page for updating all their content. So you can do that too. It's one option, and if that's what you do, you will get very good at that very quick. But post that you're doing this on your website and blog. Put this on your business card. Let people know in your place of business. You make service calls. Say, like us on Facebook. If you ask, they will do it. Put it on your business card. Add social media links. I said this, but I can't say it enough. Add social media links to everything. Got that? List everything. Online, business, printed, document, tent cards, you got it. Follow your best customers and engage them. Your best customers, your best donors. Reach out to them. Ask them to be friends. Think about it. If they're already donating money, okay, they're already coming to your place of business, okay. Can you send them a friend request? Can you ask that they like the page? Sure, it makes sense. They want to do that. It's actually so much more intuitively easier than in the old days asking people you didn't know how if they're buying from you, if they're donors, do that. Start posting. Post 1 or 2 times a day. Again, I want to give you some creative juice thinking ideas about what to produce, what content. That formula: 50% entertaining, 30% information, and 20% promotion, sales, events, etc. Go to my webinar on content marketing and promotions, and you'll get more out of that. Pay attention to likes, comments, and shares. See that again. Less is not necessary, or more is not necessarily better. Less is not necessarily. There's some things that are just shareable by nature, but pay attention to that and get a feel for what you're doing. Ask your audience what they want. You see people say, hey, what would you like me to post on my Facebook page? What information? Do you have a celebrity coming to town? Do you have an important fact that's worth sharing? Uh, it, it, there's lots of information that you have access to, even opinion and ideas that your followers will want to know. Repurpose the content that you already have. Um, Again, supplier information, historical facts, today in history. There's all sorts of ways that you curate that content and you're able to repurpose that, usually edited down or with the links or with the videos, not in all in part. I've been guilty of that where I'll write a 500 or an 800 word blog post and intent. Well, they don't even let you do it anymore with Facebook, but it's an article that's more instructional, motivational, historic, better document. But I'll have just 3 points on a Facebook page and then have that link to my blog post because it's just too much content for that environment where somebody wants it just quick and they're able to move on. But you can still have a link to a longer video, longer information, and people can use the pyramid where they get a little bit of information at the top, and if they want to go deeper, they want to go deeper, and they get the whole experience. And this is just example in different forms of media, how the same information is used over. Here's 5 tips worth noting. Uh, Make social media work for you. Take the content that you have, engage with people. If somebody likes your page, like them back, write something nice about them. You're able to see this in real time. Share your email newsletters. There's a share, depending on whether you're on in a couple months, by the way, Constant Contact should have everybody on Generation 3, but depending on the interface that you're working now, it may be called Share or Simple Share. But when you're done and you've scheduled your emails to go out, there's some version of the Share button. Make sure to share what you're sending out, unless it's a private engagement or not open to the public. Make sure to use the Share tool. Then that also counts for your one a day or the information that you're sending out. Post offers, share photos that you have. We have these wonderful devices, the smartphones that take high quality, high digital images. There was a time not that long ago where you had to have film developed and processing fees, and it was time and expensive. You can take pictures, videos, and images. When you start off, you're probably not going to be very good at it, but with more practice, you get better. And when I used to have events on a regular basis, I always told my assistant, you can stop taking pictures when you've done 100. Take them from different angles. Get the sun behind you. If you shoot into the sun, usually it's bad. But if it's bad, that's okay. Keep moving around and hit all the different angles. Get the photos or images. Give advice. If you know your business, if you're able to share that, give advice. Ask questions of the people. Take questions that people ask you. How many times do you think people will ask me, how often should I post? Well, I can offer that in a number of different ways. I can show the best practices image. I can show what I've done. I can show what we're doing with clients. I can consult with somebody and say, what is your temperament? What's your audience? What's going to be simpatico with the information? So there's endless tools and resources to get from. Tip 6, save time with simple tools. Schedule your post with Facebook or Hootsuite. Hootsuite is a scheduling mechanism where you actually have a calendar. You can have your information pre-written. Yeah, you don't want to go a year ahead of time, and you want to become flexible. If there's an event or a trade show and there's dynamic things happening, during the middle of a Las Vegas, or if you're in let's say there's a snowstorm or a hurricane, and you have posts that are just randomly going out, you may want to interrupt those and say, school is canceled, or we've altered the venue here, or we've rescheduled, or it's still going on. But as a regular time saver, have that scheduled, just much like you probably pay your bills or payrolls, personal things in your business. Within a few days ahead of time what is going to be happening, because we have calendar devices to make these happen, whether they're printed or digital. You want to use your scheduling tools, just like scheduling employees to come and work, like you would media buys, like you would update. It's nothing you don't already have the skills or resources to do already. they're just there. We're pushing time here, so I get carried away and do that. Set up searches and monitor others. This is where you get content. Spend, well, let me go back to this here. Spend about 20 minutes 2 or 3 times a week. That's optimum. That's about an hour a week. Earlier on, it may take you longer than that, but you do have to budget your time. And kids, gang, don't let these become time vampires for you. Get the information, post it. Good enough is good enough. And what you're going to post today, what you're going to post tomorrow, can always get better in the future, but something is better than nothing. Set yourself up a calendar, what you're doing. This is something we'll do oftentimes for clients. We do this, it's not a lot of money. You can do it yourself, but set up a digital calendar. Google has a wonderful calendar that you can share. Outlook can be shared within offices. There's any number of tools out there, but schedule your events when they're going to happen. Motivation Monday, Monday motivation here, post quick tips, interesting facts, what's going on. This is one of the greatest tools here in just being proactive as opposed to reactive. You know the seasonality of your business. You know ahead of time. You know if you're going to have a Mother's Day sale, a Father's Day sale, a 4th of July, a holiday, Kwanzaa, Christmas, Hanukkah. We know these things ahead of time. Even storm events, people in the heating and cooling business, the first day it hits 90 degrees, air conditioning and heating and cooling businesses go way up. Well, some of those days are pretty predictable years in advance. You know, don't forget your email to always post and send that out. Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, LinkedIn, etc. This is neat here. Social Media Examiner here, San Diego. Create a timeline post. This is actually, a rock star here. And you can share information like this where almost 381,000 people like that. So you can also share that too. Now that's where you are repurposing somebody else's content, but somebody sees you got no shares or no likes when you're starting off, then there's one or two, but you share something where there's already 380,000 people liking information here. So now you're part of a bigger, broader idea of social proof that you can share. And by the way, those people love that when you share that information. You love it when they share yours or other people. So it's call it a holistic activity of things that are going around. I got to pick things up here. So Facebook, make sure to use there's a sign up app in Facebook where you can link your constant contact where people can join your list. Really, really smart to be able to do that. I'm not going to be able to go through every one of these, but create fun posts, request subscribe, include your link and URL. This is 90% of all this, by the way. If you just follow the Facebook user guide and interface, you're going to have this. So I'm not going to go over every one of those. Use your Facebook app. You will find that under the Grow My List component in Constant Contact. And a little bit here when we finish up, I'm going to offer, again, we just don't have time for Q&A here, but I'll offer you a link to my calendar appointment. You can talk with me for up to 30 minutes, pick my brain. I've got an agenda we can go through. It's not a sales pitch, but if you have an agenda, that's fantastic too. Use that app. Extend your reach with a social media tool. We told you about that too, where you publish, you have your schedule of events that are going out, plan and think ahead. Use those tools for posting. Hootsuite is fantastic. I don't own stock in Hootsuite. It's not the only one. I think HubSpot is another one that's really good. We use some of them here. I know we've altered a couple times, but Joe, our technical guy, is real proficient at that. And we'll get him on the line to get that specific information when you need that. Use Facebook and Instagram photos in your emails. Again, you want to have the photos and the images. Use your share tool. I shared with you earlier about somebody has 1,000 people, only 3 share. If each of those 3 have an average of 200, it's not hard to see that 158, I think, is actually a very, very conservative number. So use the share bar. Ask people to like and share. We do a thing too where we put an arrow. Share this with your friends, because some people look at that and they just get kind of numb to it. But if you say, please share with your friends and colleagues, And it's just in fine print. After they've seen it a couple times, they really don't see it anymore, but they understand that you're asking them to do this every time you send an email. But it's just in fine print, like nine point font. It doesn't detract from your regular headline or information. Add your social media buttons. Real easy to do here. People know that. They're like moths to a flame. Oh, they're attracted to it. They want to click on it. They want to see that. Next step, decides which social networks are right for you. Kids, you do not need to use all of them. Do one or two very, very well, not 5 or 10 poorly. Also, when we do consulting with clients, meet people where they're at, okay? Um, there's some businesses that Twitter is just not appropriate for. Or I shouldn't say appropriate, but it should maybe be the fourth or the fifth thing down on the list. If somebody's growing a business, they have a professional organization, business to business, LinkedIn is almost surely a place to be. So match the message to the market. I've got a good friend and client, Rex Tubb, Engraving Connection. They do a lot of awards for retirees and people who may not be that active on, although that's changing with social media. But when he does his wedding invitations and plannings, the average bride to be is 28 years old. They're all over social media, so it's the place to be. Uh, just the beginning, start with Facebook. Make it easy people to find and follow up. Use your 50, 30, 20. Stay with me here, okay? We got some important information. Use that formula. After a while, you'll get a feel for it. It's like the rice and water salt combination. 2 cups of water, 1 cup of rice, pinch of salt. Boil it, cook it. I think it's 20 minutes. Although we got a slow cooker that takes care of all that. Just like you do too when you can schedule the posts and plan weekly or monthly. Repurpose your emails and your content. Check out my content workshop. It's available online. You can register for it. We can send you the link if you ask for it. Be a marketer. Check out the resources that are available online. Have a hero here growing up, the great martial artist, movie star, Bruce Lee. And he says, knowing is not enough, we must apply. Willing is not enough, we must do. So now what are the next steps? Take this information, we're going to send you the link. Surround yourselves with people, with those who are on the same mission. We've got a special offer here. This is not a sales pitch. We just want to reach out and engage. Which costs nothing, by the way, you're going to have a link here in about 2 seconds that you can follow. If you do want to purchase something, what everybody needs is a mobile-friendly website, or I'm sorry, well, a mobile-friendly website, that's easy enough to do, but a mobile-friendly email template that has all your social media integrated, that has that all set. Home office, I don't even know if they do it anymore, but they charge $197. From time to time, they do it on sale for $100. We do it for $47. Money back guarantee. We have all the best practices. We walk you through that. So if you're interested in buying something, it's a great way to do it, whether you're new to Constant Contact or you've been using it for years. We used to have offers for just new subscribers, and then somebody complained, and I think they were right. They said, "Wait a minute, Derek, I've been a client for years. Where's the special?" I said, "Yeah, let's make it equal for you." So I won't go through everything here, but we can set this up for newsletters, timing. Uh, you do not have to buy anything to schedule the 30-minute call. We want to reach out. We've got 7 of the most frequently missed opportunities. This is not just in social media, but in all your email marketing. In a second here, you're going to be able to just click. You may even be able to do it now, but click right here. I think our technical whiz here, and you get immediate access to my appointment calendar. You have to do this either today or tomorrow, but you can schedule your one-on-one call with me. If it's a real highly technical thing, we'll get one of my favorite propeller heads on here, and we'll get the question answered here if it's more creative in nature, but we'll go through that. It's something I enjoy doing. I learn from the experience, you learn from the experience, and take advantage of one of those opportunities that you have there. So Derek Freund, Rogue Marketing and Constant Contact. I've gone over schedule here just by, it looks like about 4 or 5 minutes. I apologize for that, but I get excited here. I look forward to speaking with you, look forward to doing a screen share if that's something that's appropriate for us to be able to do that. And ask us about our combo package where you can get webinars live 24/7 in a recorded format to be able to go on and participate with this. So, Derek Freund, until next time, God bless. Be passionate about what you do, surround yourself with the right people, and I will see you on one of our upcoming programs. Thank you.
I just think this is the thing to do.